Welcome into the PHNX Tailgate Show, brought to you by DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app. You know what time it is. Roll those intros.
Saul Bookman, Marcos Deniz, a Padre, Southbound Community College Cougar, and best of all, a Wildcat from the University of Arizona.
Johnny Venerable, Maricopa, Arizona. We have a Denny's and an IHOP.
Bo Brock, the Harvard of Maricopa County, Scottsdale Community College, Fighting Artichoke.
Shane Diefenbach, North Scottsdale Circus School of Arizona. Honk, honk.
Welcome, friends, to the PHNX Tailgate Show, your premier pregame show for all things football, college, NFL. I'm Johnny Venerable. My cohort here on PHNX Cardinals, Bo Brock. My brother on bets, Shane Diefenbach. The GM, Saul Bookman, out today. We're holding down the fort. We're padded up.
Lower body injury.
And we're ready to rock and roll. And where else do we start? ASU Sun Devils, not great, Shane-O. The hangover begins with a horrific hangover loss to whatever's called Eastern Michigan.
Can we address the pants?
Yeah, let's not just gloss over the pants.
This is just.
Can you stand up?
I'm not going to stand up. I'm.
Why? You'll still be in the full frame.
I'm geared up for a dub today.
Can you stand up? Can you do a twirl?
Look at this. Look at that pancake ass.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's better than anything you saw from the Sun Devils yesterday.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's better than a lot of things we saw yesterday. That is. Yeah. I mean, those things are tight. I don't know, man. I've talked about it at length last night on the show. It was embarrassing to the 9th degree, to the nth power. I'm literally at a loss for words.
Are you going to get emotional here?
No.
Okay.
I screamed last night. We aired it out, and that's why you should just go watch the show, because we talked about basically everything. When's Herm Edwards getting fired? If he's going to get fired, they're going to wait till the end of the year. Daniel Ngata, ASC's running back, joined us live right after the game, which was awesome of him. So
just
thank you
pure
again
class, by the way.
for that. Yeah,
give him more carries.
Yeah, it was just embarrassing.
It wasn't even close. Like,
No.
you could turn it off. A lot of people turned it off at halftime.
Yeah.
To put forth that kind of effort in a what I think is every game's a must-win game, especially out of conference cupcakes that you host, that you feel like, hey, at the end of the day, we should win this handedly. And Bo Brock, like, the Sun Devils, it's not if, but when they fire Herm Edwards, correct?
Yeah, it's inevitable at this point. And that's why I don't understand why you just don't start now. I mean, we see how aggressive the coaching carousel becomes at the end of the season. Why not just? I mean, this thing, dead men walking as far as like this program goes. Like, you know what's going to happen if this carries on beyond 2022. This regime. Like, I feel so bad for this Sun Devil fan base to have to endure this any longer.
I feel bad for a lot of the fans. A lot of them have already given up, which is fair.
And they were right from the jump.
But yeah.
What do you mean by giving up?
They've given up on this team. They don't support them anymore. They just don't watch the game. But I feel bad for the players, because this is a talented team. It is. And if you don't think that, then you haven't watched anything. They have some really real talent on this team. And it felt a lot like the Suns' collapse in Game 7, because it kind of came out of nowhere. You know, they lost to Oklahoma State, but it was Oklahoma State, and they competed most of the game. Some bad play calling ended that, but it wasn't terrible. This was the last thing I expected, and there are some things happening that we don't know about, and we could just be speculating. It could be wrong, but I think that they're just not bought in. Well, what we heard from Daniel Ngata and Emory Jones last night in the post-game presser, Emory and Ngata both said that this week they just didn't feel prepared to practice. They weren't bought in during the practice.
Hearing that a lot around Arizona football lately.
So does that mean that maybe they just don't care. Maybe they
You hate to use the word quit when using student athletes.
It's not don't care about the team. It's maybe they hear the same shit over and over again from Herm.
Yeah,
and the game planning. Didn't we just do the same shit that lost us Oklahoma State?
Right, yeah. It's the theory of insanity, and it's old, as far as schemes, they're done. They're not even in play. They're not going to put you in a position to be successful on game day. They're not going to put you in a position to get drafted. Like, if you're a quarterback and you look at this offensive system, or if you're just a skill player, and you look at this offensive system and you say, oh, that's going to get me to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
You're kidding yourself. Like, nobody believes in that. And to hear that in week 3 of the college football season that this team is already over it, that's why you need a full reset. That's why you need to get people to believe, like, hey, the head guy is going to be out of here. Who wants to stick around here?
Just so much uncertainty, because is the Pac-12 going to be a thing in a couple of years when the rebuild is completed? Like, are they going to be in a different conference altogether? I mean, you watch this team, they have no business, I think, competing certainly in the SEC or the Big Ten. Like, where do they go? Do they go in the Big 12? Like, if that's still a conference, it's a weird, uncertain time. And you talk about, like, the message falling on flat ears with Herm. Herm is supposed to be like the ultimate motivator. It was an out-of-the-box hire to begin with, because he was supposed to gravitas the locker room and get them pumped up to play these kind of games, kind of like a Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, where you get up and you make the most of your talent, right? And they've had NFL talent. I mean, Brandon Ayuk and N'Keal Harry and Rashad White.
But that was the talking point last night. They had 4 or 5 guys, 5 I think, last year get drafted. And there's like 6 or 7 on NFL rosters from last year's team. But they all got drafted late, which means they're talented guys. They make the roster. Darian Butler, undrafted free agent, not starting, but on the 53-man roster for the Raiders that the Cardinals are playing today. There's a lot of guys that got drafted late and made the rosters. Chase Lucas, you saw him on Hard Knocks. Does that just mean that they weren't evaluated enough because they weren't brought to their full potential?
Isn't that the MO with ASU, though? Like, we say it all the time.
Individual talent up the ass, but they
Right.
can't win games.
Yeah.
It's just a testament to what this team is. One last thing about this game that will really sting if you're an ASU fan. 3-star quarterback Israel Carter, who's supposed to be ASU's new guy coming in, was at the game last night watching it. So that's fun.
Yeah, you might hear him, make a move here pretty soon, and not in the good way. Speaking of moves, ASU used to have a quarterback. He was pretty average. His name was Jayden Daniels. Then he transferred to LSU with Brian Kelly, and then I don't know if you guys saw this last night, but they beat Mississippi State at home, and Jayden Daniels looked the best, especially in the second half, Shano, that he's looked in 18 months. I mean, he looked fantastic.
Yeah, and he also looked some of the worst in that first half. And you know what? But you know what it is? It's a good head coach.
Yeah.
If you guys saw the videos, Brian Kelly, Jayden Daniels playing like shit, spraying balls all over the place, not going through his reads, taking off too early. Brian Kelly grabbed him physically and started getting into his shit, saying, "What are we doing?" Like, he yelled at him,
right?
And because he cares about the game. You don't see any of that emotion from Herm. You don't see him jumping up and down on the sidelines. You see him getting angry. You see him woe is meing all over the place. Like, Brian Kelly was getting into starting quarterback shit, and he made him make a difference, and he did. And credit to Jayden, he looked awesome in that second half.
But also it comes with good coaching too. I mean, you can get emotional. I mean, look at Notre Dame yesterday, Brian Kelly's, former program, and Tommy Reese, the video from yesterday.
Do your fucking job.
Do your fucking job to Notre Dame's backup quarterback. He played a little bit better, but they're certainly missing Brian Kelly
100%.
being able to elevate, average to above average talent and getting productive quarterback play. And we're seeing Jayden Daniels, take a step in the right direction. And yeah, it was a good win against Mississippi State, who took care of business against UofA last week. So, it's a good win for that program and Jayden Daniels going forward.
Over 300 yards of offense, 2 touchdowns, and again, winning that elusive first conference game in the Brian Kelly era. I mean, like, no one here is rooting for Jayden Daniels to play poorly, but it was always going to be an indictment of ASU and Herm Edwards if he played well. And we've talked about it ad nauseum. What Brian Kelly used to do historically with these Notre Dame quarterbacks that would not amount to anything after having success at the collegiate level, they wouldn't go to the NFL and they wouldn't perform, I think is a testament to the kind of quarterback guru he is. And everybody wanted to write Brian Kelly off after that Florida State upset in week 1 where they lost in overtime, like by 1 point. Brian Kelly's going to be fine. He's going to win a ton of games in the SEC. He knows how to recruit. He knows how to get the best out of his quarterbacks. And, it's definitely a team to watch. Speaking of teams to watch.
He's unlikable. Can I say that?
It's
not like people aren't they don't believe in
How
him.
many? Dabo's unlikable. Urban's unlikable. Like most of these top, like
Dabo's like if you're ranking those guys, he's probably more likable than the other two.
I don't
guys.
know. Dabo's
money
fraud.
thing kind of sucks.
Yeah,
it's pretty
Dabo.
But did you
He
see? I
doesn't
mean, it
play
was
in a real
electric. Him
conference.
just sprinting onto the field. Brian Kelly couldn't do that. He'd fall on his face.
I like Brian more than Dabo.
It's because he won you some money yesterday.
He did, yes. Brian, I got LSU. I sent this to you guys plus 285 in the second half to win the game outright. And Shane, my guy, talked me off the ledge. I was going to cash out multiple times. And he said, let's ride with it. And it ended up not even being competitive the second half. I love you, Brian. I will continue to bet on LSU.
I just can't emphasize enough how much that means for not just a quarterback, but especially Jayden Daniels. He just hasn't really had that. A guy to ride him and keep him accountable, but do it in the right way.
Yeah.
He definitely felt like he was pushed out of here. And that's fair. We've talked about it at length. But I mean, if that kind of play continues, they are a dark horse in the SEC.
Yeah, they're going to win 8 or 9 games. They're going to be in a competitive bowl game, and ASU is not at this rate. But what about the team down in Tucson last night?
Well,
I'm going to say that they're going to be in a bowl game this year. Jed Fish and company are doing at UofA football has to be commended. They went into this game against North Dakota State as a dog. Yes, it's a 1AA school, but it's the premier 1AA school. And how about those Wildcats getting the dub last night?
Yeah, North Dakota State was annoying. They looked really good.
Yeah.
Their fullback scored 3 touchdowns.
Love to see
which
it.
was awesome to see. Jayden Delora is the squirmiest little fucker. He is just so hard to bring down.
Yeah.
Decision making still a little bad, but honestly, this team looks pretty damn good. They look cohesive, and you know what they have, guys? Energy. Jed Fish jumping up and down on the sideline, getting excited, and you know what else they had? Fun. They had a lot of fun playing football last night, and they look good. U of A fans should be happy, especially where the program is heading, and Jacob Cowing, and just what this program is looking like. Hats off to the Wildcats.
Yeah, no, it's a much better product, like from top to bottom, as far as the two schools, major schools that play in the state. And it was a fun win. It is like people can poo-poo the Bison, you know, as you said, being a division below, but they dominate that division. It's absurd that the numbers they put up. How about the North Dakota State? I mean, quarterback position, 12 passes, man. I mean, you would just want to go all in on a guy coming.
I know you'd want to trade up with multiple first-round picks.
10 for 12. When you said fullback had a couple touchdowns, I was like, did you mean quarterback?
Do you mean Trey Lance?
No, but honestly, you're so right about the North Dakota State thing, because credit U of A, it's a lose-lose. Like you don't, or it's kind of a lose-lose because you don't really gain anything.
Right.
Like, you beat an FCS school, awesome. Like, or you lose to an FCS school and you get shit on. Like, and this isn't a bad one.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think they can get to 5 or 6 wins, which will make them bowl eligible. They're already at 2 wins now. You figure, I mean, right now on the surface, would they beat Arizona State head-to-head?
Right now, yes.
And they would beat Colorado head-to-head, who's 0-3.
But that's about it, I think. The Pac-12 looks really good now.
Could they beat Cal? Could they beat Stanford?
I think they could. I think they have the ability, just because of what's going on with that program and the way they're trending, that if they get a team that's better than them on the right day, they can pull off an upset.
Yeah.
Where last year that shit wasn't happening.
100%. 100%.
Quite the turnaround for Tucson. Quite the downfall right now for the Sun Devils. We're going to keep you locked and loaded.
Gotta say that like 3 times.
With ASU Sun Devils.
Can we give some big Penix energy?
Dude.
That was a huge win for the conference.
People forgot that he was almost a Heisman candidate. Like, I mean.
UW, Washington.
He looked incredible. I feel like, I mean, us specifically in our power rankings, we just kind of slept on Washington. We all had him kind of in the middle. They were 2.5-point favorites in that game.
Yeah.
They were supposed to win that game, and they did in dramatic fashion. Washington is scary.
Yeah.
Washington, Oregon State, Washington State, and Oregon's looking okay now. The Pacific Northwest is a freight train.
Do they get a team in the Final Four of college football playoffs?
No.
Well, then they're not scary then. Like,
I'm talking Pac-12. We're talking Pac-12. I'm talking Pac-12.
Didn't USC roll again yesterday too?
Yeah. They're a top 10 team right now. I think they're 7th after the rankings. Let's talk about USC and Oklahoma, because Oklahoma had the easiest line to predict yesterday. They were a mere 7.5-point favorite against Nebraska. And I know
11.
everybody. Well, when the game started, it was 7.5 on DraftKings. Yes, I grabbed it right at the start of the game on DraftKings Sportsbook app. Everybody thought, you know, and I do this too. You fire a coach, the team comes out motivated to play well.
But you know what?
But that
Nebraska's players were still on the team.
Yes, they've been, and that was my point. The disease that was Scott Frost has been poisoning this university for 3+ years, and they've got a bunch of 1- and 2-way star players. Yeah. And Oklahoma is still reaping the benefits. I don't like Brent Venables. He uses my last name. He has Lincoln Riley's players right now, and so of course that was going to be the most lopsided matchup, easily predicted. But my favorite part, Shane, and I think you were alluding to this, the fans. The Nebraska fans, the faithful, are already clamoring for one former disgraced Jaguar coach, Urban Meyer, according to the dark interweb of the Nebraska message boards. What do you think about that?
Would he want to go to Nebraska?
Does anybody want to go to Nebraska?
I don't know, man.
We had a janitor report, right?
Yes.
On Urban?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exclusive. I know somebody's janitor.
My favorite thing about the line, though, is it just felt like one of those situations where the public was being too cute. They're like, ooh, emotional. I can't believe it got bet down to 7.5. I was all, because I saw the handle. The handle was like 80% of bets were on Nebraska's spread. I was like, what are we doing?
Do you know the players on the team? They're bad.
Do you know Oklahoma's actually a good football team?
It's like a silly storyline. It's like interim coach gives them the boost, and everybody loves to bet with their heart sometimes, and they think, hey, they're gonna get that energy. But yeah, like to Johnny's point, you just can't fix a flawed roster up and down. They just didn't have the talent to compete. And your boy, keeping up with the Venerables, I mean, he's still playing with most of the Lynx guys.
Yeah,
so like that's
now.
a talent.
He'll
That's
be
a talented roster, and they took care of business. That was an easy dub for you.
It was. What about USC? Are we buying them as a legitimate team, or is this very much you're beating up on bad competition, getting the most of your roster? Lincoln Riley still needs a couple more recruiting classes. Bo, what do you say?
USC's. It seems like even during Helton or Kiffin, or they would get off to these hot starts, and then they'd get into conference play and they'd face it, not the Utah that we know now, but like the Utah of old.
Yeah.
And they just face a disciplined team and they just lay an egg. I don't think that they're versed to that. Like, I think that's still coming down the pike for them. But I like what I've seen. I mean, they've obviously infused a ton of talent through the transfer portal on that roster. Addison, you've got Caleb Williams playing really good football. But what's it going to look like when they get in a tight contest against a more talented roster? That's what I'm really interested to see with this USC team. But very encouraging. I mean, they're doing what they should do and blowing out lesser teams.
Yeah, they're legit. Their defense is questionable. That's for sure. That's going to be their soft spot, and we're going to find out if they're real next week, September 24th. They're at Oregon State, and I don't know if you guys have seen Oregon State.
Oh God, they're fine.
But that's like one of those games I was talking about. You go to Corvallis.
Yeah, but
they're a good team, and they're very hard to beat at home.
Yeah. Lincoln Riley, we trust Lincoln Riley around here.
Well, here's the thing. As I said, their defense is bad. I understand it was Montana State. Oregon State put up 68 points last night, and their defense is really good. I don't think Oregon State should win this game. I'm not predicting they will, but this is a real test. This is their first real test. It's not Fresno State. Stanford was okay. It's not fucking Rice. Like, this is a real team.
It's a real team, unlike last night's UFC fight, which was not real. And Triple G needs to retire. Shane, did
boxing.
you have...
Yeah, boxing.
Boxing. What did I say? UFC? Yeah, sorry about that.
Canello is my dad.
You were adding some limbs.
I'm very much not locked into the boxing scene when you got a couple old men fighting against each other. But what did you put money on that fight?
Yeah, I sprinkle a little bit on Canello to win by TKO, just because Canello was like minus 375 to just win. I didn't want to bet on him decision, but that's how it happened. He dominated the whole fight. I mean, he's just one of the greatest, and he's so fun to watch. I don't know if you guys saw the clip of, he's just one of the best post-fight interviews. I love Canelo.
Canelo is?
Yeah. Viva Mexico, cabrones.
He's going to be in the next Creed. I saw that. You know, that's probably the most interesting news out of the boxing. I don't like boxing is another lull. Like, we need, like, right now, the hottest name in boxing isn't even like a real boxer. He was just in town, Jake Paul. Like,
he's coming to town.
We need like legit. Well, he was doing interviews out in Glendale this week. We need somebody who's a legit force to at least maybe go after Canelo. Because Triple G can't. Like, how many times are we going to do
the weight
this?
division...
Like, how many times can you do Fury and Wilder?
Well, it's just the weight classes are just so hard. Fury and Wilder are the two real superstars we've seen in boxing in the past couple of years. I mean, Canelo was close to that, but this has kind of just gotten drawn out. This is the third time they fought. Canelo's clearly the better fighter. Like, I don't know.
The last boxing clip I saw was Le'Veon Bell boxing Adrian Peterson.
Doing what we all want to do.
Well, that makes me sad.
Yeah.
NFL players, stop doing that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Adrian Peterson.
Because, he took the bag to go do that.
Sean sent me that clip, and I responded. I'm like, they they made a living getting hit in the head. Why are we still doing this?
Yeah, like I don't want to root for that. Le'Veon Bell didn't take the money from the Steelers and bet on himself. That's probably why he did that. And Adrian Peterson,
Glass Jaw Peterson.
yeah, that was ugly. No more of that, Frank Gore. Stop doing those things.
Right.
I want to be able to think of you as your greatness in the NFL, not cash grabbing at the end of your career. You can cash grab right now though on DraftKings. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, get $200 in free bets instantly. I'm thankfully off the schneid. I won a couple lofty bets yesterday. Like I mentioned, betting on LSU. Syracuse almost fucking blew it against Purdue, but then they came back and won. Hell yes. That was like an arena game. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah.
One of the tastiest 10 o'clock kickoff times that you'll ever see for college football. So your guy's back. You can be too. Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Get this, bet on any NFL team to win, and if your team leads by 10 at any point in the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. 2 weeks ago, Thursday Night Football, DraftKings paid out over $6 million for this. So today, this morning slate, use that promo code PHNX. Even if your team, if you're betting on Carolina, if you're betting on the Giants, a bunch of horseshit teams, even if they're up by 10 at any point, you're going to get cashed out. They don't have to win. They just got to be up by 10. It's simple. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code PHNX. That's promo code PHNX on DraftKings Sportsbook. We've got so many fun props to talk about. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Both see those show notes for details.
I'm looking at $13, $12, $15, $13. Those are the ticket prices on Game Time for the D-backs game today.
Ooh.
I know it's a football Sunday, but if you're looking for something to do with the family, you want to get out.
If you're an ASU fan, you don't want to watch football for the rest of your life.
Kind of just
Is
wash that bad taste out of your
Is
mouth by
Baumgartner
watching.
pitching? Hopefully not.
Look, I mean, it's the baby backs. They're one of the most electric teams right now playing. Obviously, they're not playing for a playoff spot, but it's fun. You can go watch Major League Baseball for couple bucks,
Yeah,
right? With the
take
Game
the
Time
kiddos.
app. If you're in Vegas, if you're waking up in Vegas, or if you're still awake in Vegas and you want those Cardinals tickets to go see them take on the Raiders, Game Time. Easiest way to get yourself through the gates using Game Time, the hottest ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets in sports, concerts, shows. So it's not just sports. You can get out there and go get those Keith Urban tickets that Johnny's been longing for. You can go use it. You can save up to 60% on your tickets
You
as
like
well.
that one.
No, I don't.
Come out here, use Game Time today. Click the link in the description below. Easiest way to find it. Just click on the link and save yourself a ton of money buying your tickets. If you love PHNX, then you're going to love Game Time. The best way to support us is buying your tickets through the link in the description, gametime.co. It's going to get you there and get you in.
We love Game Time. We love playing games. It's time for Survey Says Cerveza here on the PHNX Tailgate Show. Producer extraordinaire Emma has a game for your boys today. Emma, what are we doing?
All right, boys. So the 1 year anniversary was just a couple days ago, about 9 days ago. So we're gonna do some PHNX trivia.
Ooh.
It's going to be tough for me. I'm the newcomer to the
Yeah.
gang.
Yeah.
So I do need you guys to close your laptops just so we don't have any cheating.
Can I say something that just came out? Per Jay Glazer, Jameis Winston is playing with 4 fractures in his back today. What are we
No
doing?
Alvin Kamara either, right?
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
Saints are going to win that game.
Going to eat a dub.
All right, you
Yeah.
guys. So first question.
Who's up? Do we chime in or how do we do this?
I'll do. Yeah, first one to chime in.
Okay.
Okay. So how many subscribers does PHNX have on YouTube?
5,000. No.
It's 5.8 thousand.
It could be an estimate.
Yeah, I think we need to go Price is Right rules here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with 5.82.
I'm going to go 5.821.
You dick.
5.8. 5.823. 5.83.
No, you already guessed
5.83.
5.8.
No, I
Yeah,
was last.
you did.
All right, 5.8.
It is 5.9.
Let's go.
All right. How many views does PHNX have on YouTube total?
Okay, I'll go first this time. We go like this.
Okay.
Give me 1.1 million.
Johnny?
No. I love our channel. 1.1 million? No.
Wouldn't we have got an email if we
Yeah.
crossed
I feel like,
the
don't we
million?
get a plaque or something? I'll go like 450,000.
Damn, you're low.
That's
I don't. I
you're
don't.
fired.
I,
You've
yeah,
been
dare you.
fired.
Yeah, turn in your playbook. You're cut. Let's say 890,000.
Yeah, that's probably right.
No, 1.9 million.
Yeah,
Wow.
go fuck yourself, guys.
Gosh, guys, what's going on?
Why didn't we celebrate that? I would have tweeted something out.
It was in Slack.
Pay attention.
Sorry, Saul.
All right, how much total watch time for YouTube?
Oh God.
Jeez.
So this is Jacob's game?
Yes.
Who
Jacob,
cares?
what are we doing?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
I asked you guys if you guys want to do
Well, I
something
didn't think
different.
it was going to be this
I don't think
bad.
it was going to be analytics.
Yeah.
This is not
We'll
your fault.
still
This
continue.
is not your fault.
No, it's not.
Watch time. I'm gonna go like
Oh, millennia.
by hours. We're gonna go by hours. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
like 200 hours.
Mm-mm.
No way. We have
Go up.
our shows are hours long.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
me.
Oh,
Give.
yeah.
Can I go like 4 months?
My
of
head
watch
hurts.
time?
I don't like this at all.
I'm going to go with the equivalent of 1/2 of ASU football. At least that's how it feels. And that's
So,
a long
a
time.
millennia?
Yeah.
What's the answer?
175,000.
I'm opening my laptop.
I just want to
This is not even.
I want to
out.
see
I'm not
Jacob
even-
just coming up with these. This is a good question. This is going
What's the next one?
This is what I want. This is what
this
the
is-
people want.
This is the last one.
Thank God.
I asked you guys if you want to do something
Look,
different.
we didn't.
No,
this
it's not
isn't
your
on
fault.
you. This is you're the messenger here.
Let me talk
Jacob's
about
to blame.
gambling.
All right, what were the first words spoken on PHNX?
Welcome to.
Hey, hey,
Is Saul? Is that a Saul thing?
Ahoy hoy.
hoy, hoy.
Bo, do you have an answer?
Hey.
What was it, Emma?
Hey,
It's
you.
hello and welcome everybody.
Oh God! Thank God our channel has changed for the better since then. If you want to drink away your sorrows from that game, come hang with us today, Sunday the 18th, 12:30 time. Four Peaks, the official brewery of PHNX, the watch party, Cards versus the Las Vegas Raiders today, downtown Tempe. Couple tickets still available. Grab them now before they're gone. $5 per ticket. Get one free beer. Get a great chance to get Cards ticket giveaway. Again, PHNX, myself, Bo Brock, producer Emma, maybe Shane if he gets a nap in, if he's not so cranky after the ASU loss, Frank Sanders, Damian Anderson. We're all going to be hanging there. We need your good mojo to will the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray to victory. That's today, Four Peaks, A Street Pub in Tempe, the official brewery of PHNX. I'm going to have some wings. Would you like a wing with me? Please come and hang out.
Are you gonna cry when it's too hot?
No, bitch. I'm not going to cry.
Is the waiter gonna patronize you?
Yeah, that happened at a establishment we're not going to
Yeah.
mention on the show because we don't want to give them free advertising.
Wait, what happened?
But we will give advertising to our friends at Four Peaks Brewery, the official brewery of PHNX. Gentlemen, it is time
Well, yeah, sure. We can go there first.
to prop it, to lock it, and to drop it. My favorite segment of the week. Let's gamble. Let's make some money for you, the people, right now. Prop, lock, and drop it here on PHNX. Tap that app. We're going to tap it on the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make you some money. Gentlemen, your favorite prop of the week, starting with you, Bo
Oh
Brock.
boy, you're throwing it right on me.
Now, are you not ready? You want to go Shane?
Yeah, let's go Shane real quick.
All right, Shane-o.
You're not prepared.
No, I am prepared. Okay.
I'll
I
give it-
like Matt Ryan passing yards.
Oh
today,
my God.
226
What are we doing
and a
here?
half.
I'm
What are we
worried
talking
about. I'm worried about you.
Why?
We talked about this before the show.
He
No
throws
much-
for a ton of yards in whether win or loss. The guy throws for a ton
All
of
right.
yards.
Okay.
Guys, calm down.
All right. Shane.
220 inches,
Bo's
by
getting-
the way.
Bo's getting really upset over here.
Screen.
It's okay. It's okay.
20
My
inches.
favorite is DeAndre Swift over 59.5 rushing yards. I think. What?
I'm just doing what you guys
Excuse
did
me?
to me.
Well, you bet on Matt Ryan. I'm betting on a
It's a
capable
smart
football
bet.
player. Give me DeAndre Swift to go over 59.5 rushing yards. I know you like the Lions today.
I do.
The
One of
front
my
seven
faves.
of the Washington football team, that is still their name, they're not the Commanders, is horrendous. They cannot stop the run. DeAndre Swift had a big week last week. I think he smashes through this. This is my favorite prop of the day, aside from Devontae Adams, but we'll get there later.
You guys like the Lions at home? Is that something you're going to get into
I
later?
might fade them. Yeah.
I've got a 3-team parlay this afternoon with the Lions, with the Niners, and the Cardinals. So, yes, I do like the Lions. If I'm going to pick them to win the NFC North, like I did on PHNX Bets Daily Podcast every day at noon, they got to win games eventually, and they can't go 0-2 at home to start the season. My favorite prop of the day, gentlemen, I like Mike Evans anytime touchdown plus 105 when I got it. That might not still be available, but Mike Evans is scoring a touchdown today. Why? Because Julio Jones is out. Chris Godwin is out. Tom Brady.
Russell Gage season.
Now, get out of here with that. Mike Evans is a touchdown machine
I love
with
it.
him and T-Braids. That's easily going to hit. If you can get it plus money right now on DraftKings, do it. Do it now. Those are our props.
Plus 110 now, actually.
Plus 110. Oh, my goodness. Why aren't you on that? Promo code PHNX. Double your bet. All right, the lock of the day, Bo Brock. How do you lock it?
Oh, man.
Mr. Locked On.
Yeah, as you guys, used to be, formerly. How dare you? Man. Why are you guys putting it on me?
Well, we
So
just assume,
early.
Yeah.
This is a segment we do every Sunday.
Yeah.
This is not out of left field.
Do you want me to go again?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
It's the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers own this team. The Bears are off of that win that they just didn't really do anything in. They just slid around in the mud. I think the Packers destroy them today. Minus 9.5, I believe it is on the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. I got it at minus 9. Let's see if it's still there. That's the Sunday night game. It is now 10. Get that right now while you can. I also like the under in that game. Aaron Rodgers, anytime touchdown rushing as well could be fun.
How are the Packers scoring points? Let me ask you that.
They have Aaron Rodgers.
They need the
They had Aaron
receivers to
Rodgers
catch
last
the ball.
week.
They have two of the best receiving backs in the NFL.
If
AJ
Watson
Dillon is
catches
gonna go
if Watson catches that ball, it's completely different.
Yeah.
He didn't, though.
Well,
Well, I mean, one
They
they
more
also
week.
don't have to cover Justin Jefferson. They might get a pick 6 today. The Packers are winning by 1 million
Justin
points.
Fields might be that dude. He's pretty good. Justin
Huh?
Fields?
What?
Who are you
Justin
talking
Fields?
about?
At what?
At football. I think Justin Fields is gonna keep that game close against the old Green Bay Packers.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard, Johnny.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I disagree with your lock, but I love mine. Give me Baker 2 weeks in a row.
Oh my God.
I love the Panthers today. Matt Rule knows this is a must-win game. You cannot lose to Danny Dimes. Brian Dable and company
Talk about scoring points.
should not have won last week.
How are they going to score points?
Baker does really well off a loss. In his career, he's over 500 after a loss. It's a pick'em game. Pick the Carolina Panthers, Matt Rule and company. I don't love the Panthers long term. A lot of people pick them to win the NFC South. That's lunatic talk. But I do think they win today. No way the New York Giants with Danny Dimes are not starting 2-0. No flipping chance.
Can I ask you guys a question?
What?
What's your favorite season? Fall, winter,
awards season?
Spring.
Mine is Saquon season.
Ooh.
And it's happening still. Saquon's going to go for over 100 yards today.
I like the Bucks -3. I know they've struggled against the Saints. I know Tom Brady and his history against the Saints, but Shane told us about Jameis Winston and his back. He needs a backiotomy, basically.
Yes, doctor said it.
I haven't heard that word from you in a while.
We love it.
And Kamara's not in the game. That defense is going to have to do what they did last year and pitch a shutout. I don't think they're capable of it. I like Tom Baum. I like Fournette's healthy. Maybe Rashad White carries. Some of those receivers step up in the absence of Julio Jones. No Godwin, but Mike Evans. Is that anytime touchdown, Mike Evans?
Plus 110.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I like that one as well. And then I like the Monday night game. Can I throw that in there?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, there's a Monday
There's
night
two
game.
that are awesome.
I like the Vikings plus 2.5.
Oh my God. No, you didn't.
I do.
You're picking Kirk Cousins on primetime?
I know.
Oh no.
But it's a different Kirk
I've
Cousins.
fallen into this trap so many times. It's not. I love Kirk Cousins, and I think they're going to do really well on Sundays. But man, he is so scary to bet on primetime.
Their team's stacked, man. Vikings are legit, and they have an offensive coach now, Justin Jefferson. If you got some money on him preseason to win the MVP, first wide receiver in league history, I got him in our fantasy draft first overall, and everybody laughed at me. First round pick, I should say. Yeah, I like your
I
picks.
didn't laugh at you for that pick. That was a great pick. I laughed at you for picking Cam Akers in the third round.
Well, I got Darrell Henderson, so don't worry about that. My drop of the day, I don't want any part of what is about to happen at what used to be Heinz Field with the Patriots and the Steelers. So gross. There's a good chance Bill Belichick is done. He's washed. He's gonna go out into pasture, greener pastures after this season. Put out to pasture, however you want to phrase it. Mitch Trubisky looked like ass last week. As you mentioned, Najee Harris is banged up. They got absolutely just destroyed physically in that overtime game against Cincinnati. TJ Watt tore his pec. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in this game. Like, is Mac Jones healthy? He barely practiced this week. One of the grossest games of the week. But, like, would it surprise me if the Patriots started 0-2? No. But also, is Bill Belichick going to lose back-to-back games to Tua and Mitch Trubisky? I don't know what's going to happen in this game, Channel. I want no part of it.
Yeah, neither do I. I'll pick a different drop, but just to reiterate on that, Bill Belichick, there are two offenses in this game, as they are in many football games. One is led by Mitch Trubisky.
Yes.
And the other, it doesn't have an offensive coordinator. What are we doing?
Matt Patricia,
Why?
baby.
It makes no sense. I think the Patriots probably win this game just because of how banged up Pittsburgh is. Mitch Trubisky is Ben Roethlisberger, but younger. He's Benjamin Roethlisberger. It just looks weird. I don't want any part of this game. But the game I totally don't want any part of is actually the Bengals and Cowboys. Cowboys are throwing out Cooper Rush out there. I think they're going to give the ball to Zeke a lot. If you need a defense and you're not confident in your fantasy defense today and the Bengals defense is available, go pick them up. Cooper Rush, 30% of the time he's pressured, he gets sacked. That is a lot of fantasy points. But for some reason, I feel like they might cover. It's 7.5 now. I'm kind of leaning Cowboys. As I said before the season,
I told you that on Friday on bets. I thought the Cowboys were going to cover.
As I've said this whole season, I don't think the Bengals are going to be very good. I think they're going to win 9 games maybe. This might be a warning shot for Bengals fans tonight that you might get a little scared because Cooper Rush hangs around in this game.
The one I'm dropping is the one that Johnny liked as far as Carolina and New York. I mean, that's just 2 quarterbacks. You can't tell what they're going to do week in and week out. Danny Dimes, Baker Mayfield, Carolina.
You know what this is going to be like? We're going to be watching the game right on the screens. Johnny's going to be like, why the fuck did I bet on Baker Mayfield?
First of all, I do not talk like that. I don't know who that was.
That was
was not me.
Oh, man. I felt like I was looking at Johnny.
Disgrace. He's a big-time dirt.
You'll never be me. Continue.
No, I mean I'm staying away from this game completely. Giants Panthers is basically a pick'em. Giants are 1-point dogs according to the DraftKings Sportsbook at home. I'm just staying away from it. And to back up my Matt Ryan pick, I see Michael's just throwing some shade on me and just shitting on me in the chat. He didn't have any receivers last year outside of Kyle Pitts. He threw for 300 yards in 8 games. Okay. He doesn't need receivers to put up yards. Yeah. I'm not saying he's going to light it up for 3 touchdowns. He's going to throw for yards.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
I think Frank Wright is a big-time fraud. I think he's going to get fired. I think he's overrated. I kind of like Jacksonville in that game. Doug Peterson, no expectations. Like the Jaguars have no pressure to win games this year, and Frank Wright has all the pressure, and they don't have Michael Pittman, so I don't feel good about that. But what I do want to talk about, Shano, is Underdog Fantasy. Are you familiar with it?
Can I just answer this question in the chat?
Yeah.
Who is saying that ASU is going to get Deion Sanders? Where did this come from? No, they don't think that. Please let me know where you heard that.
Shane, he's got sources. We don't.
Underdog Fantasy, the best way to bet on higher or lower player totals. Do some daily fantasy drafts. It is so damn fun. If you haven't downloaded Underdog Fantasy, you are totally missing out. It's such a good time. We do daily fantasy drafts together. You can do private drafts with your friends, which are really fun. Throw $5. Hopefully get some in return, beat your friends, win some bragging rights. Just a really good time. We also do a fantasy show every single Thursday at 3 p.m., so don't miss out on that. That is a good time. But yeah, it's just
Thursday or Tuesday?
It's Thursdays.
Okay.
The last week was Tuesday. Okay. We're starting on Thursdays because there's actually football on Thursdays. But guys, Underdog Fantasy, look for your favorite player stats or least favorite player stats, which I love doing. Maybe fade Matt Ryan, take his lower player total. Pick between 2 and 5 players in a pick'em entry, and whether or not you think they'll be higher or lower than their total stats in this week's game. Get all your picks right, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. They also have insurance, so if you want to just hit 4 or 5, you can do that as well. It's just such a damn good time. I love betting on, James Conner's over rushing attempts or Kyler Murray's passing attempts or his yards. There's just a lot of things you can bet higher or lower on. And also the fantasy drafts are just great. So you can search in the App Store, click the link in the show notes below, sign up with that promo code PHNX, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Guys, I'm not kidding. It is so much fun. It just adds a little spice, especially during baseball season when, there's no NFL games on. It carried me through it. So definitely do that. And that's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code PHNX. Get in on the action today.
Speaking of dark times, it's a flight risk. Arizona Cardinals at the Las Vegas Raiders. Here we go. Buckle up, friends, because the Arizona Cardinals 5.5-point dogs. And I don't feel good about it, but we're going to give you our definitive preview right now. The flight risk, Cardinals at Raiders. Bo Brock, we talked about it ad nauseum all week. Right now, as you're sitting here a mere several hours before kickoff, is this a must-win for the Arizona Cardinals?
I'm not saying it's a must-win for the Cardinals, and I think it's actually more pressure on the Raiders to win their home opener, all the money they spent in the offseason, coming off a playoff appearance themselves. There's a lot of expectations. as far as McDaniels goes, he has to show he belongs as a head coach. Like, there's not that much pressure on the sidelines of the Arizona Cardinals. Last time I checked, Cliff Kingsbury signed a 5-year extension. So not to say it's a pass. Like, the Arizona Cardinals have to show that they can compete. They should be fully capable of getting out there with a win. I think they cover the 5.5. As far as winning the game, I'm staying away from the money line, but I think we're going to see a much better, more inspired performance by especially the defensive side of the football. We're seeing that J.J. Watt's going to be in there. I think that helps. We'll see who else is active come game time.
J.J. Watt has been MIA for most of the Cardinal offseason and was out last week. We've got a fun little graphic we put together. Hey, J.J. Watt, the Cardinals are paying you $17 million today. No more going missing on the old milk carton. The Cardinals need you to be the ass kicker that you were paid to be and to dominate what is otherwise putrid Raiders offensive line and to get in Derek Carr's face. He's going to be on a pitch count, according to Ian Rappaport, rap sheet friend of PHNX Cardinals. But Shano, what kind of impact can J.J. Watt have? Is he washed or can he make a difference?
The reason why I'm opening my beer, I do not feel very confident right now.
Oh, God.
I'm worried. I don't think he's washed by any means. He just needs to stay on the damn field, guys. Yeah. They need him. They really do. So hopefully we can see some type of impact today, even if it's a limited snap count. I don't know if you guys saw Game Day Live predicting all Raiders victories today.
That's a good omen, actually.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I think Devontae Adams and this receiving core is just going to be too much for this team. You need to get pressure today. I don't think you're going to get any coverage sacks. And Devontae Adams' grandparents are there watching the game for the first time. So.
Pick and spreads, Asbel. Brocco poses to you. What's the word? What do you think? Pugh, Mullen, Thompson. Who's inactive? Who's active for the Cardinals?
I would say that Pugh, Thompson. I would be shocked if they're inactive again this week. Or, obviously Thompson was there, but he was battling the toe. Mullen, that's a wild card. He's saying that he wants to play. His coaches are saying, just from as far as preparation standpoint, they didn't trust him. And obviously this coaching staff, big believers in trust with the rookies, with new players. It would be a big boost if Mullen could play some snaps and take Isaiah Simmons out of the slot corner position for just a couple snaps.
Please, God.
That would be huge for this defense and getting off the field. Remember the Cardinals were a defense that could get off the field on third down. They don't look like that defense any longer. They need to resemble that a little bit. So the offense, there's not as much pressure on this offense to just go be elite.
Let's talk about the offense because I think rightfully so, a lot of the ownership has been on the defense. Right now, the Cardinals statistically have the worst defense in the NFL. They're 32nd against tight ends. Darren Waller comes to mind. That's a bad mismatch. So it's up to Kyler Murray. It's up to Kyler Murray and James Conner to win this game with their legs, with their feet. I do like Greg Dortch, gentlemen. I put some money on DraftKings to score an anytime touchdown today. But to me, it's simple. You gave up a first-round pick for Hollywood Brown. You're banking on Hollywood Brown to become a Pro Bowl player with his college best friend, Kyler Murray. Is this the game, Shano, that the Cardinals take some shots over the top with Hollywood Brown?
I would hope so, man. I think at some point you have to. I mean, the frustration is just building within this fan base of not being able to do anything over the top. We've seen it dating back to last year. I know DeAndre Hopkins is a huge part of this offense, but at some point you have to get creative. You have to be able to scheme these receivers open. You have to be able to give Kyler Murray time to be special because he is a special quarterback when given the opportunity. I don't know what it's going to take. This Raiders secondary isn't great.
No.
I mean, Jonathan Abrams is burnt toast out there. All he does is hit people hard.
Yeah.
Like, just try a couple post routes. If you get one-on-one coverage, lob it up. Kyler Murray can put the ball in places where other quarterbacks can't, and Hollywood Brown is good enough to make separation, enough to catch the football.
I think the biggest issue as far as not being able to throw it deep is interior pressure. Like Kyler Murray's trying to get out of, getting put on the turf immediately, and hopefully Justin Pugh being back will help keep that at bay. And obviously Chandler Jones' revenge game, like him saying that this is any other game is just absurd. He's had this game circled ever since he signed and secured the bag from the Raiders. Ever since the Cardinals decided not to extend him, like he's been looking forward to potentially facing his team, and he gets it week 2 here. DJ Humphries has to have a big game set as far as the left tackle position, and then Beachum, Max Crosby. I mean, those are two guys that didn't put up any sacks in week 1. They're going to be hungry to get home today.
Let me ask you this, guys. With Kyler Murray, obviously a lot of it is pressure, and him not being able, his average time to throw is very low. Do you think, one, he's a hard quarterback to block for? just because of how he plays the game. Yes?
No.
No?
I do.
I'll disagree with that just because, I think the Cardinals' offensive linemen who have been extended, a la DJ Humphries, has benefited from Kyler Murray's mobility and the fact that they can look at it at the end of the year saying we didn't give up as many sacks as otherwise.
Would you like to see Kyler Murray stay in the pocket more?
Not today.
Well, I mean, the way defenses won last year, at the end of last year, was keeping him in the pocket. He didn't have any success. So, I mean,
But his receivers also couldn't separate.
I've always heard that offensive linemen say it's tougher to block for a guy, especially like how Kyler Murray plays, like how you don't know where you need to keep up with him. It's a misconception that helps, right? I mean, you just watch him play in the Pro Bowl where there is no pass rush and he's already ducking out. Like the Arizona Cardinals need some sort of him to play within the offense, but also utilize his legs.
That's not today, though. The Cardinals are down multiple wide receivers. There's no Indy Isabella. There's no Rondell Moore. There's no Antoine Wesley.
How are they going to overcome no Izzy?
There's no DeAndre Hopkins. It's Greg Dortch, Hollywood Brown for better or worse. That's why I'm looking at the tight end position. Zach Ertz practiced fully. Bo Brock without any limitations this week. That's a good omen. He had a touchdown in garbage time last week. And then the native son, Trey McBride, number 85. Will he be active? I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
Why do you keep saying that? Natives to Colorado? Like, what?
Can I like how it sounds.
Homegrown, I guess?
Maybe we'll get a t-shirt, PHNX merchandise locker.
Trey McBride, is he active?
I'm going to ask you right now.
Yeah, I think he's active. I mean, we haven't seen any. We saw the two elevations from the practice squad. It's Devon Kennard, unfortunately, and then Jace Whitaker at the cornerback position, which could mean bad news for Trayvon Mullen in his status for the game. But they would have to sign a wide receiver off the practice squad.
That's right.
To the active roster. That means they would have to cut somebody in order to make room for a wideout to be available. So if you count, there's 4. There's Hollywood Brown, there's A.J. Green, there's Greg Dortch, and then there's Andre Bacella. So you need guys who can run routes, and McBride fits that profile.
I think I heard about Andre Bacella in language arts class, so I'm going to go with Trey McBride.
Voice.
Absolutely.
Voice of an angel.
Let me get final score predictions. Shana, I'll start with you. Cardinals at Raiders. What's the final score?
Raiders 31, Cardinals 28.
Oh, my God. Bo?
Yeah, I think I had something similar. It was 31-26. So win by a hook if you're a bettor.
Yeah, I'm not into spreads or moral victories with this game. I'm into W's. The Arizona Cardinals are going to get one today, 27-24 at the Las Vegas Raiders. You can bet on it right now. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly using the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Kickoff is in a matter of minutes. Bet on any NFL team to
Double
win.
ad read today?
Yeah, for DraftKings, yeah.
Look at this guy. He came to play. He's got his
Love it.
football
I'm
pants
sorry.
on. He's got his Chuck Taylors.
While you guys were lolling over the ASU game, I was putting time in on the grind. If your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. It's simple. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code PHNX. That's promo code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See those show notes for details. Friends, it's been fun.
Last
Do
thing.
you guys like any of those as far as the 10-point lead? Any of these games? Do you like best for that bet?
I don't know how you don't like San Francisco at 1 point to be up by 10. I don't think they'll cover, but I think at some point they'll be up by 10 in
Yeah,
that game.
I like a lot of them. I mean, if you
I like
well, and talking, there's so much parity right now. Like
Okay.
you can get a money line dog, get up by 10. I mean, they can lose the game, but you still get paid out. Last thing I will say, I did mention it. Devontae Adams, grandparents are there. Obviously, it's a storyline.
Oh,
It's one of the favorite things that people are talking about. The receiving total, I think, is around 93.
Grandma.
Went for 144 yards last week. Was targeted 17 times. I think he goes over that. Do you have any idea on how to even begin to game plan against a guy like Devontae Adams?
You tackle him, you get
Right.
penalties.
Just drop down to your knees.
Yeah,
look to
Byron
the sky.
Murphy, Buda Baker, just maul him.
Mm.
Do what you need to do. Try to just, even if you give up touchdowns, just try to slow the game down a little bit. Don't let it, because Derek Carr threw 3 interceptions last week. Unlike Patrick Mahomes, he will make mistakes. So just prolonging drives, even if by penalty, I think he could give up some of those critical errors that you don't see from the elite quarterbacks. And so I do believe, like, it's, what do you sacrifice a down or two to fight another day. And I think Derek Carr will give up a fumble or an interception and do what you need to do against Devontae. Get dirty if you have to. I don't care.
Yeah, you need to get dirty with those.
I do. I need to rub some dirt
white
on them.
football pants.
11 minutes from kickoff, boys.
You look like Jim Thorpe with your Chuck
Who are you guys
Taylors
playing in
and your
fantasy
football
this week?
pants.
What'd you say?
Who are you guys playing in
I
fantasy
don't
this
know.
week?
I just know I don't keep track of that league until I have to be in last
Derek
place.
Montilla.
Ooh.
The mayor, the
caveman.
self-appointed mayor.
Yeah, he's going to be the mayor of L-Town.
It's good, isn't it? Those are some. If you dare, be sure to like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. We assume the GM Saul Bookman will be back next week, but for now, ladies and gents, strap in for a full day of NFL action. We'll have live coverage of everything going down at PHNX Cardinals Live later today. But in the meantime, pop over to Four Peaks, say hello.
220 inches of TV.
Of TV.
That's 4 Johnnies in one television.
Maybe like 2.5.
I'm going to go 5.
Jesus, this show.
Follow me on Twitter at Shane Deef.
No one's following you. Johnny Venerable on Twitter, Bo Brock. We'll see you after the games. Peace.